Most people talk about financial freedom as if it's a dream that belongs to a chosen few. But let me tell you the truth. Financial freedom is not a mystery. It's a mastery. It's not reserved for those who are lucky. It's built by those who are disciplined enough to live by principles. If you want freedom, you must build it on pillars strong enough to hold the weight of your vision, your family, and your future. These pillars are not secrets. They are truths that anyone can practice, but very few actually do. The first pillar is mindset. Before you ever touch money, before you ever open a bank account, before you ever make your first deal, you must decide what you believe about wealth. If deep inside you believe money is evil, you'll always push it away. If you think wealth is for other people, you'll sabotage yourself every time an opportunity comes your way. The wealthy are not smarter than you, they just believe differently. They believe money is a tool, not a master. They believe wealth can be multiplied, not hoarded. The foundation of freedom is the transformation of your thoughts. Change your mind about money, and money will change its direction toward you. The second pillar is income creation. Most people are trapped in one stream of income and they wonder why they're drowning. If one stream dries up, you're finished. But those who build freedom create multiple streams. They don't wait for opportunity, they create it. They start businesses, they use their gifts, they learn skills, and they turn ideas into income. Money moves toward value, and the more value you create, the more streams flow into your life. Don't depend on one paycheck. Build rivers of income that keep flowing even when one dam breaks. The third pillar is money management. Earning more without managing more is like pouring water into a broken bucket. Freedom doesn't come from how much you make. It comes from how much you keep, how much you grow, and how much you direct with wisdom. You must learn to give every dollar an assignment. Some must be invested. Some must be saved. Some must be spent responsibly. And yes, some must be given. Money without management leads to slavery. But when you master your money, you control your future instead of being controlled by your past. The fourth pillar is investment and multiplication. At some point, you have to stop working just for money and make money work for you. If all your wealth depends on your labor, you're still a slave. Even if you make 6 or 7 figures, freedom begins when your dollars clock in and work while you sleep. Invest in businesses, real estate, stocks, skills, or anything that grows beyond your personal effort. Don't just consume, plant. Don't just spend, multiply. Every dollar can become an employee that brings you back more than you gave away. But only if you have the courage and wisdom to invest. The fifth pillar is legacy thinking. If everything you build dies with you, you were never free. You were just renting time. True freedom is when your children and your children's children eat from the fruit of the trees you planted. Legacy is bigger than luxury. It's about building systems, businesses, and principles that outlive your name. Wealth without legacy is wasted. But when you think generationally, your life becomes more than survival. It becomes significance. And the final pillar that holds everything together is discipline and consistency. None of this matters if you're not willing to be consistent. Wealth is not built in a week. It's built in a lifetime of faithful action. The broke and the wealthy both have 24 hours, both face challenges, both feel fear, but the wealthy move with discipline. They do what they said they would do long after the feeling they had when they said it is gone. Freedom is not for the talented, it's for the disciplined. It belongs to those who refuse to quit. So, if you want financial freedom, don't look for shortcuts. Look for pillars. Build your minds. Create income streams. Manage your money. Invest with wisdom. Think legacy and stay disciplined. If you build on these 5 pillars, your life will not just have money, you will have freedom. And freedom is priceless. Most people think money is a starting point, but the truth is, money is never first. Your mind is. If your mindset is broken, your money will always follow that pattern. That's why some people win the lottery, and within a few years they are broke again, because they had more money than their mindset could handle. Wealth doesn't just expose what you have, it exposes who you are. If your beliefs about money are rooted in fear, lack, or guilt, then no amount of income can make you free. You'll always find a way to lose it, to waste it, or to push it away. Mindset before money means you must reprogram the way you see wealth. Stop seeing money as scarce and start seeing it as abundant. Stop seeing it as a master and start using it as a servant. Money is a tool, and tools only work for people who know how to use them. If you hand a power tool to a child, they might hurt themselves with it. If you hand a fortune to someone with a poor mindset, they'll destroy their own future with it. That's why most people keep saying, if I just had more money, all my problems would be solved. No, money doesn't solve problems. It magnifies them. If you are disciplined, money will magnify your discipline. If you are careless, money will magnify your carelessness. That's why the wealthy don't chase dollars, they chase wisdom. They know that once their mindset is aligned with abundance, opportunity will find them. It's not the size of the check that matters, it's the size of the belief behind it. When you start to believe that wealth is not about greed, but about stewardship, not about taking, but about multiplying, not about consuming, but about creating, then you shift into a position where money is drawn to you. The marketplace rewards the people who see possibilities. Others only see problems. Mindset before money also means you refuse to let your past dictate your financial future. Maybe you grew up in lack. Maybe you've always struggled. Maybe everyone around you is broke, but that doesn't mean you have to stay there. Poverty is a condition of the mind before it's a condition of the bank account. The person who says, I can't, has already built their own prison. But the person who says, and I will find a way, has already unlocked the door. When you understand this principle, you stop blaming circumstances and start taking responsibility. You stop waiting for the right time and you start creating the right time. You stop saying, I can't afford it, and you start asking, Trent, how can I afford it? That one question shifts you from a victim of money to a master of money. Because once your thinking changes, your decisions change, and when your decisions change, your results change. So remember, the real foundation of financial freedom is not in your wallet, it's in your mind. If you want to build wealth that lasts, you must first build a mindset that can hold it. Money will always rise or fall to the level of your mindset. If your thinking is small, your money will stay small. But if your thinking expands, your money has no choice but to expand with it. Most people live their whole lives depending on just one source of income, and that's the very reason they stay stuck. They put all their trust in a paycheck that can disappear overnight and then wonder why they feel trapped. If one stream dries up, the whole household collapses. That's not freedom, that's bondage. Freedom begins when you understand that income is not limited to what your job pays you. It is limited only by the value you are willing to create. Income creation is about realizing that you don't get paid for your time, you get paid for the value you bring to the time. Two people can work the same number of hours, but one earns 10 times more than the other. Why? Beck. One decided to increase their value in the marketplace. Your skills, your knowledge, your creativity, these are seeds that can grow into income streams if you're willing to plant them. The question is not, will someone pay me? The question is, so what problem am I willing to solve so deeply that people can't afford to ignore me? Too many people wait for opportunities instead of creating them. They wait for promotions, for bonuses, for someone else to recognize them. But those who build freedom don't wait, they create. They start businesses, they build services, they use their talents, they leverage technology, and they learn to multiply what they already know. The truth is, you are sitting on opportunities right now that could be turned into income if you stopped underestimating yourself. That skill you take for granted, that knowledge you overlook, that experience you think is a normal. Someone else would pay for it if you packaged it the right way. Income creation is not about raising money, it's about positioning yourself as valuable. When you raise your value, money will chase you. And the key is not just one stream, but multiple streams. Imagine your life as a house. Would you want to depend on just one beam to hold the entire roof? No, you'd want several strong beams, so if one breaks, the others carry the load. That's how your income should look. Diversified, stable, and flowing from different directions. But let me give you a warning. More income won't fix poor money habits. If you don't manage what you already have, you'll mismanage what you create. So as you grow your income, you must also grow your discipline. Otherwise, more money just means more chaos. Income creation is not optional if you want financial freedom. It is essential. Don't settle for survival when you were created for abundance. Don't depend on one stream when rivers are available. Don't say it can't when you were designed to create. When you shift from waiting for money to creating money, you step into the flow of abundance that was always meant to be yours. Most people think the answer to their financial problems is more money, but more money without management is just a faster way to go broke. If you can't manage $100, you won't manage 1,000. If you can't manage 1,000, you won't manage 10,000. Money doesn't change who you are. It only amplifies who you already are. That's why so many people keep earning and still stay broke. They don't have an income problem, they have a management problem. Money management is the difference between wealth and waste. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep and how well you direct it. Every dollar is like an employee, and if you don't give it an assignment, it will wander off and never come back. Most people spend their money emotionally, not intentionally. They spend on what feels good in the moment instead of what will build their future. That's why so many people live paycheck to paycheck, not because they don't earn enough, but because they don't tell their money where to go. Management requires discipline. It requires you to say no to things that shine today so you can say yes to the freedom you want tomorrow. It means setting aside money for investing, saving, giving, and yes, even spending responsibly, but always with a plan. If you don't control your money will control you. That's why debt feels like slavery, because it's proof that money is the master and not the servant. When you master money management, you build stability. You create a foundation where your wealth doesn't slip through your fingers. You stop living in reaction and start living in direction. You stop wondering where your money went and start telling it where it should go. This is how you break cycles of poverty, by refusing to let your emotions dictate your spending and letting your principles guide your finances. And here's the truth. Money is not meant to sit still. It's meant to move with purpose. Good management is not hoarding, it's directing. It's making sure your money grows, multiplies, and produces more. A well-managed dollar today becomes $10 tomorrow. A wasted dollar today becomes regret tomorrow. So, if you want financial freedom, stop waiting for a bigger paycheck and start practicing better management. Because the person who can manage a little will always be trusted with more. The world doesn't reward people who only make money, it rewards people who know how to manage it. Money without management will always disappear, but money with management will always multiply. There comes a point where working harder is no longer the answer. You can only work so many hours, you can only trade so much time, and eventually your body and your energy will reach a limit. That's why financial freedom isn't just about making money, it's about multiplying it. True wealth begins when your money starts working harder than you do. Investment and multiplication are about turning your dollars into employees that never sleep, never take vacations, and never ask for raises. While you rest, they're out in the marketplace producing more. Most people never reach this stage because they spend everything they earn. They consume instead of plant, they use instead of multiply, and they wonder why their money never grows. Consumption feels good in the moment, but multiplication builds freedom for a lifetime. Investing is not gambling, it's stewardship. It's about putting your money in places where it has the chance to grow, whether it's real estate, businesses, stocks, skills, or ideas that compound over time. The key is not just to spend less, but to allocate wisely. Every dollar you hold in your hand has the potential to either disappear or multiply, depending on what you do with it. If you buy something that loses value, your money dies there. If you place it where it grows, your money gives birth to more money. Multiplication requires patience. Seeds don't turn into trees overnight. The wealthy understand this. They don't look for quick wins, they look for steady growth. They are willing to sacrifice immediate pleasure for future abundance. They know that compounded growth will eventually outpace anything they could earn by themselves. That's why, while others are chasing trends, they are building assets. While others are spending, they are planting. While others are wishing, they are multiplying. And here's the secret: every investment is not just about money, it's about mindset. When you invest, you are telling your future that it matters more than your present cravings. You are declaring that tomorrow is worth more than today's impulse. You are choosing growth over gratification. That shift is what separates those who stay in cycles of lack from those who step into generational abundance. The goal is simple. Stop working only for money and start creating systems where money works for you. Build assets that continue to pay you long after the effort is done. Position yourself so that while you're sleeping, while you're traveling, while you're spending time with your family, your money is still producing. That is the path to freedom. Because at the end of the day, income without investment is just a treadmill. You're running hard but going nowhere. But when you learn to invest and multiply, every step you take compounds into a future you can't even imagine yet. Multiplication is not just how wealth is built, it's how wealth is sustained. Most people think wealth is about how much they can enjoy while they're alive, but true freedom is bigger than your lifetime. If everything you build dies with you, then all you had was luxury, not legacy. Legacy thinking is what separates those who consume wealth from those who create wealth that outlives them. It's the difference between being rich for a moment and being wealthy for generations. Legacy thinking forces you to ask bigger questions. It's not just how much can I earn, but what am I building that others can stand on? It's not just what do I leave behind, but who do I raise up? Because the truth is, wealth that only benefits you dies with you, but wealth that is structured, invested, and passed down continues to work long after you're gone. That's how families move from struggle to stability and from stability to significance. Too many people stop at success. But success without succession is failure in disguise. If your children have to start from scratch after you worked your whole life, then you didn't build freedom. You just rented comfort. Legacy is about systems, values, and structures that continue without your presence. It's about building businesses, assets, and mindsets that can survive storms because they were designed to outlast you. And legacy isn't only about money, it's about principles. If you pass down wealth but not wisdom, your family will lose both. But if you pass down wisdom and discipline, they can rebuild wealth even if they lose it. Legacy thinking means teaching the next generation how to manage, multiply, and respect money so they don't waste what you sacrificed to build. When you think in terms of legacy, your decisions shift. You stop living just for comfort and start living for contribution. You stop asking, so what can I afford now? And start asking, what will this decision produce 10, 20, or 50 years from now? You stop playing for yourself and start playing for a team called generations. This is why people who think legacy plant trees they'll never sit under. They know their children and grandchildren will benefit from the shade. They know that the sacrifices they make today are seeds of freedom for tomorrow. Legacy thinking makes you more careful with your money, more intentional with your time, and more focused on building something that lasts. The truth is, luxury fades, but legacy remains. Cars, clothes, houses, all of that eventually loses value. But a ND set of abundance, a system of wealth, a foundation of values, those things echo for generations. And when you live with legacy thinking, you don't just build wealth, you build history. And to quit is screaming louder than your commitment. Most people fail financially, not because they don't know what to do, but because they don't do what they know long enough. They start saving, then stop. They start investing, then pull out at the first dip. They start a business, then quit when it gets hard. Discipline is the ability to keep walking when progress feels invisible. Consistency is the strength to keep building brick by brick, even when the wall doesn't look complete. Think of it this way. A single workout won't make you healthy, but daily discipline will transform your body. A single deposit won't make you wealthy, but consistent deposits will build a fortune. A single investment won't set you free, but years of disciplined investing will give you the life most people only dream about. It's not what you do once, it's what you do always. Discipline means living by principle, not by emotion. It means choosing what you want most over what you want now. It means being faked with small amounts so you can be trusted with larger ones. Consistency means refusing to let failure define you, refusing to let impatience distract you, and refusing to let excuses rob you. When you pair the two together, you become unstoppable. The truth is, talent without discipline is wasted Knowledge without consistency is useless, and wealth without structure is temporary. But when discipline and consistency enter your life, everything multiplies. Your money grows, your habits strengthen, and your freedom becomes inevitable. So if you want financial freedom, don't just start strong, stay strong. Don't just work hard for a season, work smart for a lifetime. Because the future doesn't belong to those who are the most gifted, it belongs to those who are the most disciplined and consistent. And when you live that way, wealth doesn't just visit you, it stays with you. Financial freedom is not an accident, it's a construction. It's something you build brick by brick, principle by principle, choice by choice. If you look at the lives of those who are free, you'll see the same foundation repeated over and over. They began with mindset before money. They learned to create multiple streams of income. They mastered the art of money management. They shifted from working for money to multiplying money. They thought in terms of legacy, and they held it all together with discipline and consistency. The world will try to convince you that freedom belongs to the few, but the truth is, freedom belongs to those who are willing to follow the laws that create it. It doesn't matter where you start, it doesn't matter what you've been through, and it doesn't matter what you don't have right now. What matters is the decision you make today. Because once you align your mind, your habits, and your actions with these pillars, the results are inevitable. Financial freedom is not just about the size of your bank account, it's about the size of your vision. It's not just about having G enough to survive. It's about building enough to sustain, to grow, and to give. It's about walking in a life where money no longer controls you, but serves you. So the question is not, can it happen for me? The question is, Sector, will I build it? Because if you are willing to build on these 5 pillars, you will not only change your finances, you will change your family, your future, and maybe even your generation. Freedom is waiting. The only thing left is whether you'll take the first step and keep building until the vision becomes reality.